Welcome back, folks, to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. On today's show, I don't know if these guys are ready for it, but we're going to raise that dark curtain, LED warranties. Yeah, we're going to talk about LED warranties again. This should get interesting because they got Gus and Rich here, Gus Vassilopoulos and Rich Jurek from the Trinity Warranty Solutions, LLC. And these guys are talking about extended warranties. That's right. We're going to Get a Grip on Lighting. We're going to have some fun with them on that topic, and it's going to be interesting. But before we do, Greg Jurek, we got to go to tcpi.com. That's right, because the corn cob killer is back. It's out, and it's killing corn cobs coast to coast, man.
First 200 lumen per watt filament lamp I've seen. I don't know if anybody else is out there to challenge it, but that's the first one. Universal burn position, 122/77 volt, bypass the ballast, 22K available, also 4 and 5K.
Dark
so
skies.
you got that. Lightweight, and it's the size of the existing HID lamp, meaning it's going to fit. That's most important. All that other stuff's awesome, but it fits.
And of course, tcpi.com. TCP is longtime, big-time members of the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. That's right. And we're having a convention on September the 13th at the Dallas Market Center. Be there or be square. So now, before we get into this hot one on warranties, because I've been licking my chops for someone to talk to me about warranties for a long time, and nobody ever wants to do it. But we're going to talk to Trinity Warrant's strategic account manager. Again, I've said Rich Jurek, and I want to introduce these guys carefully because might be a bloodbath. And who's going to go first, Gus or Rich? Which one of you guys?
I think I can start.
All right, let's go, Gus.
So why don't I share with you how we got started? So Trinity Warranty, we've been providing extended warranties for HVAC, refrigeration, generators for quite a while. And then this is about 10 years ago, the founder started looking into LED. The reason is back, I don't know if you guys remember, 10 years ago, or around about that time, Congress passed a law that kind of pushed municipalities to go to LED lighting. And when my boss heard about that, he figured, there's an opportunity here. So at that time, LED was featuring 10 years parts warranty with their LED lighting, but there was not that much data to support, what the actual life of the product would be. So,
tell me about it, man.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're absolutely right about that. It was all smoke and mirrors. Yeah.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah. So how he went about it is there was a manufacturer back then out of Germany, Philips. They had put together a nice long paper on how they went about determining the 10-year warranty and what that was going to look like from a actuarial standpoint. So he did some number crunching. He passed that along to the insurance that we work with, and they kind of approved it, and then this product was born. So we
can you send me those actuarial tables? I would love to get my hands on those.
You know what? I'll ask Peter to see if he can. If he can.
I'm not kidding you, man. I would love to see those actuarial tables.
Yeah, I'll talk to Peter and see if he can send it over. So that's just to kind of give you a background on how this product got started. And then since then, I believe we're the only third-party extended warranty provider in the industry. I know there's some manufacturers that do offer coverage on parts. And the other reason that he kind of went into this is, as you all know, that the cost of putting these things in is the labor more so than the actual cost of the product. So not just getting the part is one thing, making sure that the part is put in properly and working is yet another. So I just wanted to start with that to kind of give you guys a background on how the product kind of came about. I think Rich would be the better person to talk more about the actual product, how it's built, and how it's used by the people we work with. So I'll pass the ball along to.
So now,
Rich.
when you're before we move to Rich, what we're talking about is we're talking about like paper products, right? We're talking about this is the cost of insurance, and why a manufacturer may want to buy this type of insurance in a way. That's what you're talking about, right?
Well, it's less about the manufacturer. So let's take a step back. Let's say you're an LED, you're a lighting contractor. So
Mhm.
you're putting these you're performing the installs for, let's say,
Okay.
municipalities, and you're putting in, I don't know, 20, 30,000 of these for a municipality, and you're looking to many of the municipalities require a 10-year labor and parts. Is that correct, Rich? We see that in the market today.
We do see one of the drivers in this business is municipalities and government institutions.
Mhm.
We do things in the private sector too. But yeah, a lot of times what happens is there's an extended warranty built into the bid spec.
Okay. And the contractor. So
So
you sell your product to the
Well,
contractors that
well,
are doing this
let
work.
me interject. Let me interject here, okay? So we go to market through different channels, okay?
Hmm.
Sometimes we work with an OEM.
Hmm.
Sometimes we work with an ESCO who's coordinating a project. Like with a municipal relamping project, a lot of times you've got a company that is basically coordinating the whole project.
Hmm.
And sometimes we work with that person. Sometimes we work with the distributor. Sometimes we work with a contractor.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a question of who reaches out to us and kind of what the project um, is looking for. Okay, we have worked with some of the major OEMs,
Hmm.
and a lot of times the big boys they will give 10 years of parts, but what they're looking for is the bid spec for that city. Phoenix, we were in on, called for a 10-year labor. And
Wow.
what Gus was saying
Included in the
is,
cost of the project.
yes,
Like not a contract where they're charging every year an escalating contract. Just if you change these 30,000 streetlights, they're yours for 10 years. And the materials are coming from GE and the labor's coming from you no matter what, you have to do it. And it's included in the contract, correct? That's what you're talking about?
yeah, and that's what they're basically telling the ESCO or the person who coordinates it, okay? And then they will basically reach out to us for that 10-year labor coverage, okay?
Hmm.
So yeah, basically what happens, and what Gus had mentioned is absolutely true. A lot of times, um, we work with municipal relamping. We work with sports stadium lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Our
Sure.
product has been incorporated into the Carolina Panther Stadium, into the Toronto Blue Jays spring training facility,
Mm-hmm.
into the Raptors location up in Toronto, and I can go on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But the key thing with those venues is the cost of the fixture is substantial, but the real cost is getting a lift that can go up 90 feet
Mm-hmm.
to change that fixture
Sure.
on a pole
Yep.
or get up to the control box.
Of course.
And so that's where um, that's where the challenge comes in, and that's where these municipalities or agencies they want to be covered for that, and that's kind of where we step in with our labor only product.
So
How
so
do?
hang on a sec. Greg, you go ahead. I'm still trying to figure out what these guys offer here totally. But yes.
Yeah, no,
Well,
so or go ahead,
if
Rich.
you want, I can give you the different options, okay?
Yeah, let's
And
I just
maybe
want to know
it'll
what it is
maybe
you
it'll
sell. Yeah.
and give you some clarity, okay? So what we do is we can offer an extended parts warranty or an extended labor warranty, okay? The standard parts warranty in the LED industry is generally 5 years
Mm-hmm.
from the OEM, okay? So what we can do is we can offer a sixth through 10th year parts coverage as long as the anticipated life of the fixture fits the application. Okay, so if you've got a 50,000 hour fixture, and this is basic 101, bear with me. So if you've got a 50,000 hour fixture and you've got 5 years of coverage from the OEM, that's great. Now you take that same 50,000 hour fixture and and it's a 24/7 application for 10 years. Obviously, we wouldn't be interested in covering that because the anticipated life of that fixture isn't going to match the 84,000 hours or whatever that it's going to be used. Okay. So we can offer an additional, now if it's only a 12-hour a day application for 10 years, we would cover it. Okay. So we can offer 6th through 10th year parts as long as the application meets the anticipated life of the fixture. Okay. Secondly, we can offer a labor component. And like I said, the cost in replacing, an LED fixture, whether it be a sports lighting fixture in a stadium, whether it be a high bay in a warehouse, above racking or above machinery in a manufacturing facility, that's where the cost comes in, because you've got to get maybe an articulated boom to get up over equipment, or you need, a very tall man lift to access lighting in a sports venue. So,
Okay, I get all that. I get all that. Okay,
okay.
so let me ask you some
Okay.
questions now. Or Greg,
Sure.
let me just jump in here because I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
All right, so now you have teams of people that you employ, that you dispatch, or are you saying, okay, no, we're just going to find somebody to come and fix this for you at that point and we'll cover that? Or are you saying we will just reimburse you for whatever it costs to fix it and you fix it? How does it work?
Yeah, the latter. We do not have any kind of service network where they call us and we dispatch a contractor. Excuse me. Yeah, so basically what happens is they would send somebody out. Our coverage is set up that they buy a dollar amount worth of coverage. This isn't a blank check. So if they're buying labor coverage and they anticipate it's going to cost $800 to get a man lift out there and change that fixture, okay? They buy $800 of coverage
Per
on
fixture.
that fixture. Yeah, and it's per
How much does that cost?
I would have to, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I'm at memory. I would think it's probably $800, probably about $50, something like that per fixture.
That's not out
It's
of
normally,
line. Yeah, it's not
no,
ridiculous.
it's probably if you take about 10% of the cost of the reimbursement that you're seeking, 8 to 10% would probably be a good guideline.
Now, can this be used on
So-
a spot? Or you go ahead, Greg. You get in here. I know. I just want to have tons
Yeah,
of questions.
I've got to
for
ask
these
a
guys.
couple things. So yeah,
Sure.
who verifies the application? Are you going to trust me to tell you that it's a 12-hour facility when maybe it's 20 hours? Who verifies that?
Greg, Eric, you would never lie.
I'm just saying, what happens?
You know what? All insurance, no matter what you're looking at, if you're looking at health insurance or whatever, it's a trust business. If you sit over there and you say, I don't, you quit smoking for a month, before you take your health test and then you pass it and you go back to smoking, this is a trust thing.
Yeah, but there's also you're also introducing moral hazard by allowing a Greg Eric, like not Greg Eric, but a Greg Eric to report. So what you're saying is that you're expecting people to be full and frank in their disclosures with you from the beginning. And if they're not, what happens? You guys investigate some of these sites and find that the description doesn't match and then you don't pay? Does that ever happen?
No.
So we can tell you that it's 12 hours a day anyway and you're never going to inspect it after to make sure it was? Come on.
We do not send out any kind of inspection teams.
Huh.
I mean, we can kind of tell by the venue.
Okay.
A sports lighting application isn't going to be the same as a casino in Vegas that's running 24/7.
Sure.
Guy called me and he give you an example. So the guy was seeking coverage for lighting in the Holland Tunnel in New York. Okay. Doesn't take much to figure out that's a 24/7, 365 application.
Sure.
So, we use common sense, to look at the venue. If you're telling me it's a warehouse, I don't know if you're running 2 shifts or 3 shifts.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said,
and that can
ultimately,
change. There can be a change of use.
There can be. And like I said, we do not have an LED warranty police that we send out there.
Maybe you need
You know,
some.
I mean, we you know, we don't, you know,
I think the
we're not-
the industry needs the warranty police.
We need a
Actually,
whole
the
You know
whole
what?
lighting
And-
industry needs the warranty police.
and I won't get into that argument because, you know, I've been in the LED business for a while, and yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. You know, like I said, what we do from our back end on the claims, okay, is if we start to see excessive claims, then it kind of raises the red flag. You know, I've sat down and I've talked with manufacturers, and if I ask someone in the industry, what is the failure rate you anticipate for your product? What would be the standard answer you think I get?
I would say that they would say to you that they would say 7 to 15 years would be
No,
the
no, no,
answer
no.
you
That's
would
not the
get.
question.
Oh.
The question is, what would be the percentage of failure rate?
Oh, I would say
Less than
4%.
5%.
4% or 5%.
4 to
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most
That's
of
not the
the yeah, you're right. Most of the OEMs and people I deal with, they go 1%, 1.5%. And, you know, ultimately, I kind of smile and say, from what we have seen, it's probably more 3 to 4%.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Now,
And
if all of a
accelerating, by
sudden
the
O-
way. And accelerating as well.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, if we have a project and we're clicking at 10 to 12% failure, we're going to have a talk, you know, with that person who purchased the agreement. Because ultimately, what it comes down to is, you know, either it's a bad run of the product, there's something wrong in the manufacturing processes, or somebody really screwed up the install. So that,
Or
you know,
or there's another option there. That 10-year warranties were ridiculous from the first moment anyone ever talked about them. And everybody knew it already. That's stupid. Now, in an extended warranty situation, which is what you guys do, that's a different situation where you're saying, okay, where you can compensate us further for the increased risk after 5 years. Okay? All right? Like what you're saying
I see
is,
where you're going.
you know, you guess you can pay money and we will have your back in this case. But we're estimating the increased risk to be this. The fact of the matter is, like, anyone that's still offering a 10-year warranty in 2022, you need to stop it now. Okay? If you're listening to Michael Colligan, stop it. 10-year. And now, if there's a paid extended warranty, that's a different situation. Okay? But this idea that the parts are not, that giving the customer, what I'm saying is this. Forget about whether you call it a warranty, whatever you call it. Telling end user customers that LED products are going to last so long when they are not is not a good idea for the lighting industry. You understand? Whether you form that in the way of a warranty, it's a 10-year warranty, or you form it in some ridiculous hour number, 250,000 hours, like since 1977 or something like that. What are you talking about, dude? Like however they're forming this message to customers that LEDs do not burn out and do not require post-installation maintenance, we need to stop that immediately in the industry, Greg. You know what I'm saying here, Greg Eric? Am I crazy or what?
I do from the manufacturer side, unless they're doing this. And that's maybe one of my questions, Rich. Are there a lot of manufacturers that the 10-year, the people that are promoting the 10-year, are they your customers? I mean, I know you don't know them all, but
some.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not here to mention names, but
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I get it.
You know, I understand what you gentlemen are saying, and I'm not going to disagree with that. I think the economic reality of it is you have a number of companies who are bidding on the relamping of a city like Phoenix or
I get it.
Jacksonville or whatever, and the bid spec calls for that, and the OEM says, "Okay, we can do this." Now, I've talked with big, you know, OEMs and some big boys, and they do their own internal actuarial calculations.
Mhm.
And, you know, they look at it and they say, okay, you know, we are willing to carry this risk internally and we want to get this job. So let's go.
Shoot first, ask questions last.
So going to that coverage that you have, that let's use the $800 example. Is that on me, the installer, to tell you I need 800, or are you going to come back and say we're going to do about 800 on this?
No.
Given
What
the
happens
situation.
is you pick the dollar amount of coverage because you know
Okay.
the application. I don't know if
Yep.
that sports lighting pole is at 700 feet or at 900 feet. That they need to get up there. Okay, so you know what the cost of a lift is. This has a geographical component too. If you're
Mhm.
looking to do labor or
Mhm.
rent a lift in Wichita, it's going to be a heck of a lot different than if you're doing it in Chicago
Mhm.
or,
Yep.
heaven forbid, Metro New York.
Mhm.
So
Right.
what happens is the way we approach this is we've fashioned it in a way so I don't spend my whole life arguing with people.
Sure.
Okay. So what happens is you tell me the dollar amount of coverage you want,
Mhm.
and that's when there's a failure, that's what we're
price
going to
it.
pay.
You price
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah. Ultimately, if you have life insurance, and
Mm.
I like to give the example. 30 years ago when I got married, I bought life insurance for $250,000, and I said, "Boy, if I die, my wife's got it made."
Yeah,
Now
sure.
I look and I go, "Good luck, honey."
Yeah.
I can't go
Wow,
back
how
and say,
is that?
well,
You know what? It's so interesting. I did exactly the same thing. Okay, when I got married 19 years ago, I bought $250,000 of insurance. I thought, wow, if I
yeah,
kick it, you're gonna rock and roll. And now I look at it, I go, whoa, that doesn't look like very much money actually.
yeah. It's now your good luck, honey. But see, now the point I'm trying to make here is I can't go back to the insurance company and go, well, due to inflationary pressures and
Yeah,
all
sure.
this insurance should now be 500,000. Well, you know what? You didn't buy 500,000, sir. You bought
Yeah.
250, and that's
And
kind of
so,
that's how we do it.
I keep using the $800 example. If it's on every fixture you do, and if you use up that $800 on that one fixture, you have $800 on the next, and once it's out, it's out. Like you can't go back and replace it again and get coverage. Is that how it works?
So,
I know it's simplifying it, but I'm trying to.
yeah, let's say we've got a facility that's got 1,000 fixtures. Okay, excuse me.
Mhm.
Yeah, like go Metro Convention Center, something like that in Toronto, right? Massive facility, right? They want to change them all out,
Right.
and they want you
So,
on the hook for 10 years. They want me on the hook for
okay,
10 years, or Greg. Greg calls them up,
okay,
calls you. How does the conversation go?
okay. So basically, I'm saying, what's the dollar amount of coverage you need to replace one fixture? Okay, Metro's probably got their own man lift. Maybe you don't have to rent one. You just have to work with the electrician. You want $500 worth of coverage or $450. Okay. So what happens is you basically take a look at the number of fixtures. Let's assume that's a $40 cost. Okay. And you say, I've got 10,000 fixtures. Okay. So you take 10,000 times 40. That would be your premium to us. Now, your 10,000 fixtures are covered. Now, what we do is we are covering the 10,000 and not necessarily that one particular one. So you have a fixture that fails, and then you put a new one in, and that same location fails again. We'll cover that one again. Okay. If that same location fails, we'll cover that one again, because you're basically covering all the fixtures. And since most LEDs are not serialized, there's no way of us for tracking, which fixture went bad. So it's all in a pot. And then like I said, if you hit a 10 or 12% failure rate, then we start talking a little bit. But until then, as long as, you know, you're sitting over there at 3 or 4%, if you're replacing the same fixture 4 times, I don't care. Make
Sure.
Okay.
sense?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but okay. So let's say, because what you're going to see is it's going to be an accelerating chart. So you guys don't even step in till year 5, right? You don't even step in till year 5.
Not if we cover labor. If we cover
All right.
labor,
Okay,
then
so you're in from the
basically
beginning.
our labor,
So you're
our
going to have
labor
a chart
starts.
that I don't know if the viewers can see it, but you're going to have these burnouts, right? So let's say, for example, you had a catastrophic failure. okay, in year 6. So it's outside of manufacturer's warranty, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And all the lights say, I don't know, Greg, turn purple or something like that.
That's happened.
You know,
Heard
I
that.
don't know, right? And so everything turns purple in the whole town. Everybody thinks for a couple days that it's Pride Month or the Packers are playing the Minnesota Vikings or something. But then people realize that these lights actually just turned purple all of a sudden, and nobody knows why. Is that considered a failure, number one? Right? Like, is it a failure if, like, what do you guys consider failed? Right? No, the light's still on. It's purple, but it's still working. Yeah. We don't pay. How does that work?
What we do, okay, is once again, we are an extended warranty, okay? So what we do is we basically follow the same warranty guidelines as the OEM would, okay? So, if you've got water infiltration in a fixture, if you've got bug infestation, if some guy shot out a lamp, okay, none of those are covered. Well, seriously, you're talking about real life stuff. Here you go.
Sure.
In some urban area, some guy doesn't want to see something going on, just takes his gun out, blows out a fixture. That's not covered. I dealt with the New York Housing Authority on one, and same thing. So ultimately, number one, the key thing is that,
So there are some exemptions. So car accident,
well,
hits pole.
Of course. Yeah. So like I said, if you look at the OEM warranty and normally look at their exceptions, and all OEMs have exceptions to their warranties, we pretty much follow the same kind of guidelines. Okay?
How does it do it? Do we just invoice you? Like, do I just invoice you? I send you an invoice. Okay, I had to fix that pole. Or do I have to fill out a form every time?
Well, we're not going to pay for the pole.
Whatever. I had to go fix the light on that pole.
Right.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what happens is you would send us, we have a 1-page claim form, so that we can tie it into where this occurred, okay? And the model, we need the model number of the fixture, okay? So you fill in a 1-page claim form. You would send us the invoice from your company or the company who provided the work, signed off by somebody, showing that the work was completed, that somebody just didn't need $800. So somebody, the end user there, has to sign off on it. And then if it's under warranty from the OEM still, then we would like to see an RMA that the fixture was provided. If it's not under warranty, if it happens in year 7 or whatever, we'd like to see an invoice from a supply house or from the OEM where you bought a new fixture. You can basically email that over to us, claims department process it, and the payment goes to the contractor or whoever purchased the agreement.
One thing that kind of sticks out is the actual manufacturer of it. Who goes through and validates that this company making the product is going to back their warranty, is going to be around long enough, has the right studies done? Is there somebody on your team that goes through that whole process? I hope.
Number one, what we're looking at is we want to make sure they're all DLC rated. Okay. I mean, you guys have been in the lighting industry. I mean, I lost a guy.
Oh, he's down. He's down.
You fell in the same hole everybody else fell in, the DLC hole.
Well,
DLC has nothing to do with quality. QPL means qualified, not quality. Qualified products.
You know what?
I told you, man. Look, the entire Greg. I'm just going to say it. I'm bursting at the seams with this DLC thing. The entire industry, from utilities to insurance providers to consumers to distributors, all agreed that the DLC was a quality stamp, and it never was. Never was.
You've got a lot. You've got a lot of people to be missionary to.
We are.
Yeah. And
it's not even in their mandate. All their mandate was to ensure the efficacy, the energy efficiency. Nothing to do with the quality of the fixture. Holy macaroni, they're everywhere.
Yeah. So, and ultimately we look also at the company, and try to do some research on them. If it's Happy Sun Company, Happy Sun Lighting, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
If it's a company like that, all of a sudden we start to be a little concerned. And so we
except that Happy
we
Sun
try-
Lighting Company got smart about 2017 or so. They started to get smarter, and they started a new band called Johnny Come Lately and the Lighting Marauders. So they started getting good at marketing, but it was the same band. They put out a new album, and it's not called Happy Sun Lighting Company anymore, which would probably be a kind of a cool name in 2022. Actually, you could probably run with it. People would like it.
I thought you
Remember
guys would like it. Yeah, no, like I said, we
Ever shine.
Yeah, exactly. Bright sun.
Oh, dude, I'll give you I remember going to Light Fair in Hong Kong, and remember, like, Greg, some of the we concentrate on corn light was the tagline.
Yeah, big across the whole thing.
We concentrate on corn light. That's the company's tagline. Right? I mean, that was a time. That was a good time. That was a good run. It's over now, though.
I have talked to people, once again, I have talked to people all the way from, Acuity, all the way down to Happy Sun. And, you get to Happy Sun, and I've done my share of light fairs, and you start talking to them, and they'll look at you. I remember I was at one, and I said, "What is your warranty?" And they go, "Warranty? What is that?" And I said, "Well, what do you do if a fixture fails?" And they go, "We ship you another one." Mm-hmm. Well, how long will it take to get that fixture? Yeah. I don't know. Next ship.
I mean, look, all of those items were DLC approved. Okay, so I mean, Happy Sun and Rising Shine and everyone else, they all had their tubes DLC approved too. So,
what I'm saying is,
what are you going to do?
We look at various levels. Okay, DLC is one of them. Yes, if like you had mentioned, the whole industry looks at that. We're no different, but we also try to be discerning when we're talking to the company. How long have you been in business? Oh, 2 weeks ago, my dad started this.
No, you have to get them to give it to you in hours. So
okay.
You get how many hours have you been in business?
Just like an L70, eh?
Yeah. No. Like, for example, we've been in business for almost 300,000 hours at Atlas Lighting. That's a long time. 1977, right, or something like that. 300,000 hours. Always ask for them to give you their company, how long their company's been around for in hours. That's the best way to do it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
your lamp lives exceed the hours that you've been in lighting by 10 times. Interesting that you can make a claim that your fixture lasts 10 times longer than your company's been in business for. That's interesting. That's an interesting claim.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go with that marketing approach.
Maybe not.
But
in terms of the different options, you got 5-year labor, 5-year parts, 10-year labor, 10-year parts. What's the most popular?
Well, most of the time what happens is we are selling probably a 10-year labor product or a 5-year labor product. What we can do, I mean, we have sold everything from a 1-year labor to a 3-year labor, a 5-year labor, 7, 10, and for parts, normally, like I said, most of the OEMs provide 5 years. So if they're purchasing parts, they usually go 6 through 10. Okay. Most of the time, the most popular one is the labor component, because, like I said, the big boys and on these big projects, they provide 10 years of parts.
So is there a company that will do a 5-year part and then a 10-year labor? That wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Does that happen?
Not what I'm sorry. What they would do is they would do a 6th through 10th year parts.
Yeah. Okay.
And then a 10-year labor. Nobody does a 5-year OEM parts and then puts a 10-year labor on it because it makes no sense.
Right.
Because who's going to cover the part for years 6 through 10?
Exactly. Okay. And how has the action been? Has it picked up or has it been steady since you guys started this program? Where are we at in terms of action?
LED, as you guys well know, I mean, they took a big hit during COVID. The industry, I mean, Once again, I deal with people in the industry from the big guys, to Billy Bob's Electric. And when COVID came around, it affected, manufacturing offshore. It affected shipping. It also affected people looking at where they're spending their money. You don't need sports lighting if there's no sports events.
Yeah, so your sales department is down, but that's not what Greg was asking you about, was it, Greg?
Oh, I thought that's what it was.
To know if the claims were up or not, right?
Well, both. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to know about the claims, Rich. Are they up?
Yeah, that's fine. Claims have been steady. I mean, we have not been hammered with claims.
He's recently hired 4 new people in his bookkeeping department, but he's not telling anyone about that because he's got so many claims coming in, he can't handle it.
They're going to be looking to sell you more life insurance.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's it. Gus Vassilopoulos, which didn't talk much, and Rich Jurek. Am I pronouncing your last name right, Rich?
If you're European, that's perfect.
Okay,
that's fine.
Jurek I'm not.
Would be
I'm Canadian,
but. A Canadian, hey there.
Yeah.
Hey. Anglicized, it's Jurek, but
Jurek.
In Europe, it would be Jurek.
All right. So Trinity's
I'll take either
Warranty.
one.
Trinity Warranties. That's the name of the company. That was a fun conversation, and it's interesting to see. Yeah, it's interesting to see the different areas of the lighting industry, Greg, and to see how people make a buck in the game. And one of them is selling insurance and breaking out those actuarial tables and looking at things. I want Peter to send me those now, Gus. I'm telling you, I want to see those things.
Hey, I don't know if they'll sit in a black box somewhere or where he's put them, but I'll talk to him.
You know what we got to do?
I think they were in Dutch.
Oh, they're in Dutch. I can read. I can read Dutch. I can read Dutch.
They were in Dutch. Yeah.
I got Google Translate.
So make sure you've got a Google Translator.
I got it. We got to talk about the real killer, though, Greg.
And it says, "Happy Son says this."
That's right. The OG killer, though. The OG killer is the corn cob killer from TCP. Greg Eric, TCPI.com.
That's right. They're a manufacturer we trust. We talk about warranties. They have a great warranty. They've always backed their product. They've been in business for a long time, probably hundreds of thousands of hours. I haven't done the math on TCP, but they have.
Maybe 250,000 hours? They're not longer than Atlas.
Early 80s, yes.
Early 90s, I thought it was somewhere. Anyway.
Well, officially early 80, then 90. Yeah, there's a whole story. You can listen to the Ellis podcast sometime.
Ellis Jan is the king of lighting, folks. He's the CEO of TCP, and Greg is going to be interviewing him at Light Fair 2022. That's right, from the TCP booth. Greg will be right there with Ellis Jan, the king of lighting, the return of the king, and of course, the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. Come on, folks. Get educated. Get associated. Come on down at Dallas Market Center. That's right, sucker. September 13th. We're hooked up with ArcLight Summit. That's right. Dallas Market Center. Come on down. We got a nice slate, and it's hosted by Tom Butters. Greg Eric, did you hear that? Tom Butters.
I did. Let's do
Tommy B is going to be hosting the Nailed Innovation Convention. Sorry, it's a convention. It's not a conference. In the Dallas Market Center. So come on down, have some fun. Go to NALD.org. Thanks for listening. Love you guys.